Welcome everybody and to another tutorial, a Flutter beginners class. And okay, yes, I think we are good to go. Okay, so we are good to go, and let's go. Welcome to another tutorial of Flutter, and last week we talked about the different types of we did an overview of Flutter and what it is about, and we built this little app, changed a lot of things on the app, a couple of things on the app, and changed a bit of color. And today we are going to look at Flutter widgets and the basic ones that you use to build UIs that are incredible. So let's go. The first thing we want to do is to go over to this URL. It's important that the documentations of Flutter that you read it is going to help you. It's going to give you an idea of how everything connects. It's going to sort of teach you a lot of things that you need to know. Okay. Yeah, I think I need to write the comments. Yes. Okay, this is good. Everyone should be able to see my back. Okay. Okay, so let's go over. So we are going to go to the flutter.dev developed. Just go over to the docs. Flutter.dev/docs/development UI widgets and basics. Oh, we are going to look at the basics. And if you want to see the widget catalog, it's over here. It has most of the widgets that you will see. Okay, so you can see all the widgets here. I'll explain what widgets are. So if you don't, go over to the last tutorial for last week and get it. Okay. Now we talked a bit about this app bar, and so we are going to deep dive into that and see what you can do with the app bar for the basic things, and then we will look at the scaffold, and we look at the columns and probably the row. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm going to go over to my IDE via Visual Studio Code, and so from the last week's code, this is what we have. From this week, I'm going to be pushing the code to GitHub so you can be able to follow it. So for now, we are going to remove the body and that, and remove everything. So we can save. Now we are left with something that we call the app bar. So let me delete that for now. And okay, so we are left with a blank screen. So what I mentioned is that a scaffold is like a piece of paper that you can draw stuff on it. So think of it as as you can draw stuff on it. And if you go over to the basic widget, and we see it, scaffold, implement the basic material design, visual layout structure. So this class provides APIs for showing drawers, snack bars, and bottom sheet. Okay. So a scaffold has a couple of properties, which we are going to look at. So if you hover your mouse over the scaffold, you are going to see a couple of properties here. It has a key, and there's a little question mark in the key. That's the type. Here means that you may pass it or you may not pass it. So it's optional. So it has also something we call the app bar. It has a body. It has a floating action button, and it has a couple of drawers. We're going to see drawers later. And in fact, you can put a background color and so forth. So let's start with the basics. So let's say I want to have a background color. The default is white, as you can see. So let's say I want to add a background color. I can say colors. So there's a color class. And when you say colors, you can dots, and you can pick out of a list of material colors that you have here. Let's say we pick on the blue accent. And we save, yay, it changes, boom. We have that. All right, makes sense. Now let's go over and see something we call the app bar. Now, an app bar, do you provide an app bar? That's the property. So you're telling a scaffold that, oh, I want to create an app bar here and assign it to an app bar. But then if you look at the property here, you can see there's an app bar. So let's provide an app bar. Yeah, so there's a class called app bar. Yeah, so we have provided an app bar. So if you save that, you see the color of our app bar is provided here, and the color changes. Why is the color pink, or is it purple? The reason is that we have decided our primary swatch is purple. Yeah, so you can decide to say the material color should be purple, or you can decide to change it here, whatever works for you. Let's say we want to change it here. There's a property called the background color, and we can change that and say background color, the colors that blue. Okay, so you see it has changed, but is blue really good here? Okay, let's put it at blue. Let's change the color of this one to something. Let's put it at black. Oh, black is bad. Yellow. Oh, they are totally opposite. Orange accents. Well, okay, I can go with this for a while. That's not important anyways. Okay, so there is another one. There is a leading widget. That is, you can apply a widget to leading. There's a widget called title. So let's play around with that. And there's title. So you need to pass in a widget to title. So basically, because it says title, it's just natural to make sure that you pass a text there in there. So let's go to basic widgets. You can see that there's a text widget here. So if we open that, the new tab, I hope people can see. Not seeing anything. People can't see anything. Wow. Okay. Can you see something now? I'm not sure what's wrong with the screen. Let me do something different. And I'm going to put this here. I think you should be able to see it now. People are seeing a blank screen, so let me try to share my screen again. How about now? Can you see my screen? Okay, I think you can. I don't know. the the stream is a little bit bad today. I don't know what's wrong. Looks like I did it on the microphone. What I've just done, I'm going to what I've just done is to just supply the style to the text. So you can supply it letter spacing here. You can set the color of the text, you can set the font size, and you can decide the weight of the text that you want. Okay, I hope you can hear me now. Apologies, everybody. Oh, God. Oh, I didn't put on the audio. Okay, so now we have supplied the title and we decided that the center title should be first. Okay, so let's look at other properties of this. So the app bar has, you can decide the title spacing. Now there's another title called elevation here, which you can pass the type of double. That means you are going to pass like a double. So let's say elevation, put it to 0. See how this thing looks like. Now when we save, you can see it doesn't look like that. I know you may not be able to see what is happening, but let's Control Z. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to set the background color to be the same, which is blue. Everything, the background color of the scaffold is blue. That means the whole page is blue. The background color of this is of the app bar is blue. But then you see there's a little like a shadow or something, like it has an elevation. So that is the elevation of the app bar. So let's say you want to get rid of that elevation, you just pass 0 as the elevation, and boom, it disappeared. Wow. If you supply 1, it's going to give it a little bit of elevation. So we do 20. Can you see? Okay, so let's leave it as 20 because it looks like it's a good thing. Okay, so that. Now another thing that you want to look at is the leading. Leading is you want something that should be here, like your typical apps. When you go to a new page, you see like there's a little back button that usually is here that people can press to the back. So let's do that. So there's a leading. Leading means you as a type of widget that you have to pass in a widget. But for now, let's talk about the icon class. So you can pass in an icon here, and there's an the default is a material icon, but you can set your own icons too. But for now, let's use a material icon. So when I say icons dot chevron left, let's apply it as a constant. So what I'm saying is that at the leading of the app bar, I'm putting in an icon that is going to return. See, when you hover on it, you can see the type of icon. So this is what it's going to show. Chevron left. And click on save. You see, you have our small icon there. Let's say I want to make it bigger. Icon has a property of size. So when you hover on the widget, you can always see the property and you can apply whatever you want to do. So size, let's say size 20 is really small. Size 50, oh, it's big. It's like biggie. Okay. Can people still hear me? I bet they can. Okay. Yes, that is leading. We can look at, we are definitely not going to look at everything, but the important ones. There is another one that I'd like you to look at. This is actions. Actions is a list of widgets. So we see how that works. So let's put in action. So once you type in action, you can already see what it's looking for. So it's looking for a list. This is a list of widgets. So let's pass in, I think, an icon, icons.filter. And you can pass in another icon, icons.copy. What is it looking for? It's looking for const. I don't think you want it here. Where is it looking for it? Okay, let me hover on that. List of actions. I don't know what else it's looking for. It does not want to agree. Okay. Is it looking for it to be here? No, I don't think so. Anyways, it's going to work. It's just a warning that we should prefer. So, okay, you can see that. So this is our filter icon. This is it, and this is our copy icon. So, like you usually see in apps, in fact, you can pass another widget here between both icons. So let's say you want to give it a width 5. So size box will create a box of width 5, not really a box, just an empty space of width 5. So we'll talk about that, but for now, see what it does. It gives it a space. So let's say 10, and we save that. It gives it a space of 10, space of 20. Okay, it gives it some space, which makes sense. So basically that's all about our app bar. And then that's good. I think the action parameter, somebody's saying something here. The action parameter is expecting the unpressed. There's no unpressed element here. I'm not using an icon button. But anyways, for now, let's leave it like that. It's not totally important. Okay, so that is that about Abbas. So let's look at scaffolds. Okay, so there's another property of body. So let's say we want to define the body. This is just an hour. I want to draw something on the rest of the app, we will use the home property. So after this app bar, you can see, let's define home. Okay, so okay, I like to do it hierarchically. Let me do that here. I will do home. Let me collapse the app bar. Now let's put some things in this home. This will bring us to our basic widgets. Container. I want to open you in a new class, in a new tab. Okay, there's a little video here. You can decide to watch it, but look at container as a container, like a little box. There's a lot of grammar here, so let's look at the example. This example shows a 48 by 48 amber square placed inside the central widget. Okay, so let's define a container to our home. So we say home, and we want a container to be our home. Oh, this is giving an error. What is happening there is this is text. Yeah. So oh, sorry. It's supposed to be the body. Sorry, not the home. If you want to see the home will be on the material app itself, not the. So now we have defined the container. So let's see how it looks like. Oh, we don't have anything. Why? Is because we have not given it a size. All for now, let's say, okay, let's look at the property of the container, and it has a color. So let's it's and we say we want our container to have here. Okay, so what it does is that container, because we didn't specify the size of the container takes the size of the whole widget. So you can see it takes the size of the whole widget. It just assumes the size of the parent class, the parent widget, I mean. So if we want to give it the size, we can, there's a height key. You can say 20, and there's a width property which you can decide to give. See, so the more width that you give to it and the more height, the more bigger it is. But when you set it the first time, it's going to just assume the property of the parent widget. So let's not give it some height and width, basically. Okay, so let's have a child and say we want it to be text. Hello world. And it's going to be constant. Okay, so you see, hello world is going to take the so the container is taking the size of the parent widget when we didn't put any child there. So what the child means is that yeah, this child is of whatever is in this child will be inside of this container. So you'll be seeing a lot of widget that you'll be supplying child to or children, something like that. So now you are telling it that, well, I want to put this text in this container. So because I didn't specify the size of the container will automatically take the size of the child. It will have child. So let's say we want to apply some style. Remember how we apply style to our text, and we give it some size. Give it some size, and then we give it a really big size. You will see that the container is going to adjust the size of the child, and you see something like that. If you give it an 80, oops, because this is bigger, the container becomes really big as well. Let's check on. Okay, nobody is posting anything. All right. So, because we already know that, what if so what it's saying is that this child is going to take one widget. Now let's say we want to put something else under here, under here, under here. How are we going to do that? The container already took the text widget. So how do we put something else? This is where it brings us to a column. A column is a layout that has a list of widgets in vertical direction. So when you define the column, you can define a list of widgets, and it's going to be vertical. So let's look at the column as this screen. So you see, you can put in a text widget, put another text, put another text, put another text, and you can go down and put as much as possible. So that is a column, and let's see how it works. So instead of this text, so we have the text there. I'm going to comment the text out. And here I'm going to declare a column. When you declare a column, it's going to give you an option. You have to supply the children. It means that you have to give it plenty of children. So the hello world that we have written the first time, let's copy that and put it Control U. No, yes, you can't. Okay, so now in the list of children, we put a text here. So let's see. You can see our hello world is there. Let's change this hello world to maybe 40. Now let's say we want to put another text there. Let's do column class for the first one. And the next one, I want to put this to show on the screen. And sorry, we're going to copy the text. We're going to copy this text. We're going to put it here. This the font size will change. Is there an error? Okay. So we need a comma after each children. You should put a comma there. And when you hit save, you see it puts the text there. So let us add two more texts. So it will be under. So it should be as they appear here, and it's going to appear there. Let's copy this and put it Let's copy the last one. Let me use this one. Okay. It brings it as they appear. Now, the column has a property, and we are going to see that. So you can see that all the text starts from the center. So the one that is big sort of start from the left. It looks like it starts from the left. But it starts from the middle. But let's say we want all our text to start from the left. So column has a property called cross-axis alignment. And it has a couple of properties. You can say center, which is the default one, doesn't change. If we say start, all the children will start at the edge of the screen. You see all the children start here. And how about we say end is going to be at the end, you see? Something like that. So let's just put it as start, and all the text starts here. In fact, it's not only text that you can put in a column, we can put another container here. Let's say we define a container of height 40 and width 40. And it has a color of green. So, and we save that. You can see I can put another container. You can say 90, and the width is 100, something like that. So everything starts from, because you have told it to start. Okay, so let's look at another property. There's a main. Let's look at the column class. There's a main axis size, so let's see what that does. Main axis size. Main axis size. Let's say dot minimum. So can you see what happened here? So this is the old one. The container took the whole of the screen, but when we supplied a main axis size has made it minimum, what we are telling it that it should take the minimum space available, minimize the amount of free space available. So if we say a main size dot max, what we are telling is to, and let me roll it back to main. See, it's going to take the space that it has used. It will only take that. But if we do max, what it's saying is that we are going to maximize the amount of free space available. So it's going to take the whole container. Okay, so that is that about columns. So for now, if you want to build basic UIs, this is what you need. From our next class, we'll be building basic UIs with just these components that you have seen. Another one will be a row. A row, so row is like a column, but it works horizontally. So the horizontal variant of this column is a row. So instead of going from bottom, this one goes from left to right. So you can, let's say we have a container, height 40, width 40. And we supply a color to be color dot red. Now we want to have multiple containers, like 3 containers. And we save that. And see, our row is the first one, so it's in the column, so it's going to come first before the other texts. Okay, so we have it here. Notice that we have 3 reds, so it follows each other on the horizontal. But if we have a main axis alignment, and we set it to be center, it packs every of its children to the center. But let's change the property here to the end. It puts everything to the end. How about space around? It places the children and gives each one of them equal spaces. So from the left to the right. And let's see that. You see, it gives them equal spaces like this. Makes sense. How about space between? It gives them even spaces. See, this one starts from the left. It gives it some space. Gives it some space here, and this one finishes there. That space between. How about space evenly? So regardless of where it is, it gives them equal spaces in between them. So from left to the first one, and so on. So this can be really useful when you are building out your UI. So basically we have, the last one will be the stack widgets, but I'm not going to touch on that today. But for now, we are going, from next week, we are going to be building basic UIs, and we are going to be looking at designs and replicating them so that you will be familiar with your container, rows, text, column. So you can use this with this skill. You can use it to build basic UIs and start to do something in Flutter. So here is where we are going to stop the class for today. I hope you have been able to gain 1 or 2 things. Make sure to go over to this website, flutter.dev docs/development UI widget basics. You'll be able to find it, and you can play around with a couple of this. Yeah. All right. Till next week. See you guys. Bye.